We're starting off with the deck to give a quick introduction on adaptive cards and universal actions that's coming into Teams and Outlook, and how you can elevate your user experiences using adaptive cards there. So quickly starting with the deck, there's a small demo at the end, and then I'd like to take everyone over the documentation and would love to hear more about any scenarios that you feel you can enable with these. And feel free to type into the chat. I also have Sneha with me from our engineering team, and he would be helping answer any questions you might have within the chat while I go through this. So jumping in. So you may have experience with adaptive cards today. You can use them for a bunch of tasks. You can use them for polls. You can use them for project management applications and various other such scenarios. So adaptive cards are essentially cross-platform, cross-app snippets of UI, which are actionable, provide native performance, and blend beautifully into every application. So that's a quick intro about adaptive cards. You may have seen them across various platforms like Outlook, Teams, Web Chat, Cortana, Windows. A common feedback that we've been receiving on adaptive cards is that even though the layout and rendering were universal, the action handling was not. So that is a challenge that we look to solve here with the universal action model. And so what's happening today is the left card and the right card. Both look exactly the same. The left one is on Teams, and the code that you would be using is action.submit for the button. And for Outlook, you'd be using action.http. So that is what we're trying to unify. And with the new universal action model, we've come down to action.execute as the new action type. Action.execute will work directly with our Teams and Outlook and more platforms soon. And action.execute can return a new card to replace the current one that you see. So that's an exciting new capability. Apart from that, there's also a refresh section to refresh your cards. So you can provide up-to-date information to your users using the refresh section. What does that mean? So you can send the exact same adaptive card that you see on the left on Teams and the same on Outlook as well. The user can take action from either platform, and they would be reflected on the other one. So that's the power that we bring in. So reach your user wherever they are, build once, deploy anywhere. So it will ease development effort and enable seamless synchronization, and extends to provide interoperability across M365 hubs. I'll just do a quick demo of a vacations approval scenario where Pat, a motivated employee, is looking to take some personal days off and seeks an approval from his manager, Kat. Kat is happy to see that and gets an email on Outlook, which she decides to approve. So the same approval, the same message she would get on Teams as well, and she can choose to approve or reject on either platform, and the results would be synced across. So that's the power that comes in. Next, I'd like to talk about contextual views or user-specific views on Teams. So the problem that users today face is everyone has the exact same view of the adaptive card on Teams today. So like anyone in the chat or channel could come in and see the exact same adaptive card view, exact same actions, exact same information. However, certain scenarios require a user to take differentiated action. For example, if you have an approval scenario, you would require an approver to have the approve and reject button, and not everyone in the chat to have those same powers. So this is what contextual views enables. You can give specific users in a chat or channel the ability to act differently, having different action buttons and even differentiated information. So a different card can be shown to different users. Taking the example of the approvals that I carried from the last one. So Daniela is the requester here, and she requests for a discount from a long-time customer and from her manager, Mary. Mary is the power to approve or reject the customer discount. So Daniela would see the left screen, which is Daniela's. She sees the option to cancel the request, while on the right screen, Mary has the option to approve, reject, or view details. And she also has an option to add additional comments. So the card can be different for different users. So this is the capability that is coming in. I'll jump into how to create that a bit like in the later section through the documentation. Next, I want to jump into sequential workflows. So this is something that a lot of people might be facing today. So maybe it's a one-on-one chat with a bot where you have you're taking continuous user input, and maybe you're doing it via an adaptive card. But today you have to keep sending different adaptive cards each time you take a user input. So you have to send different cards, and that kind of clutters up the chat. So with sequential workflows, you can do that using one card itself. So for example, this is a food ordering bot demo. So you can send an adaptive card which will help users order food in this group chat. So I'm playing this. So what would you like for lunch? I say chicken, I say tea, and I confirm my order, all without sending 4 to 5 different cards. I see the recent orders as well. And I went through my entire list and entire scenario of cards without having to send 5 different cards. Neither did I have to neither did I modify the card for other users. So as an example, left, I am showing Alex's screen. Alex has already placed the order and confirmed it, while Natalie is still in the process of confirming her order, while Lee, who has just opened the chat, is right now deciding the order. So it doesn't modify it for other users, or one user comes in, takes action for themselves, doesn't modify the card for others. So that's the power of sequential workflows. So quick demo for the scenario. This is an incident management app. So Megan is an incident creator here. She's a safety inspector and decides to file an incident on the Contoso report incidents message extension. She observes a boiler leakage and marks incident details and then files the incident. So once she files the incident, the adaptive card is sent in the chat. This adaptive card is coming from the bot. And we use a user attribution feature, which is another cool feature you can use, which shows that Megan sent this card via the bot. And now we'll demonstrate user-specific views. So there are 3 different users that we've shown here, Megan, Alex, and Nesta. So Megan sees the edit button, while Alex, to whom the incident is assigned to, gets the resolve button, while Nesta, who is part of the chat, does not get any actions. So he can just view it. So different views to different users. Now we'll also showcase how this view would look in Outlook. So the same card that was sent to Alex now gets sent to Alex on Outlook as well. And Alex can take the action from either platform. He decides to take the action from Outlook. And this would also help sync the card on Teams. So when we move back to Teams, we'll be able to see that the incident updates for all 3 users and has the latest status. And here we see that Megan has the option to reopen the incident. So that demonstrates the user-specific views or contextual views on adaptive cards. So this was a quick demo on the capabilities. Now, how do you get started is one thing that I want to cover. And let me just do that via the documentation. So quickly showcasing the link, aka.ms/universal actions. So for universal actions, you can directly jump into the documentation, and it covers a quick overview of all that I covered today. It has everything in more detail and with an overview section containing all the scenarios that are possible here. And then you can actually jump into what all, how do you get started? So there's a quick start guide as well right here. And it tells you what you need to do. So any instances of action.submit need to be changed to action.execute on Teams. Any action.http on Outlook would change to action.execute as well. You add a refresh clause to your adaptive card if you want to leverage the automatic refresh model or user-specific views. You need to handle the new invoke type, which is adaptive card/action invoke requests in the bot, like you typically do. And you now have the option to respond back with adaptive cards specifically created for the user. And like I said, action.execute has the option to send back adaptive cards as a response to an action. So that's something that you can leverage as well. So the different sections in the documentation cover how to enable this. There are code samples present on how you can quickly get started. and what are the response formats. So everything is present here in the documentation. Would request everyone to go through these and shoot us any questions. I think we are just right about on time, so I'll take 2 more minutes to run you through a last call to action from my side. So if you're currently using adaptive cards, this is, I think, a great call to action that you can start changing your scenarios from action.submit to action.execute so that you can instantaneously give feedback to your users once they click on any action. Here you see an EcoBot example. You can just type any message, and once you tap send today, you couldn't take any, you couldn't give instantaneous response to your user. Now you can do that. And like you see here, after you press send, we can show the message. We can show a different action as well. So that becomes possible with Action Execute. And would love more users to try this out. And so this is one of the things that you can pick up on. I have shared my email ID and my LinkedIn profile here. Please feel free to reach out on Teams, Outlook, anywhere you want. And let us know if you have any questions there. We can definitely help you on board as well. So that's it.
Don't stop sharing. So one question which came up on the chat, there's some good discussion on the links and all of that. Can we go back on the documentation? There was a question related on supported adaptive card versions in Teams and in Outlook. And I know that universal actions are supported in 1.4 forward.
Sure.
So that would be then the assumption that both are at least in 1.4 version. But do you have explicit information on this?
So for all of these features that we showcased here, you need to change the version to 1.4, and with that only these features work. So that is the Teams and Outlook story, because Outlook and Teams only accept these cards in this version. Was that the exact question, Vesa, or was there anything else?
So basically, that's the discussion. There was also a question on which adaptive card version is supported by the Microsoft Teams. I don't know if you have that information, but it's at least 1.4.
Yeah, so 1.2 is the last supported adaptive card version. And here, these features are supported using 0.4. 1.3 version, where you have the input validation and all those capabilities. Those are actually coming in. They are actually in preview right now. And if you're looking to use input validation, you can try those out in the pop-out window and developer preview or on mobile. And that will be rolling out soon as well.
Cool. Excellent. Cool. I think that's it for this one. So really cool features, and it's good to get things aligned better between the products, and so making a one unified way of doing things. That's always a good thing for developers. So really, really cool stuff, and great documentation, by the way. It's good to see all of this available already today.